And start recording again. Hello, this is part 2 of this fucking input thing. I cursed, so it's probably gonna get deleted by YouTube. Well, that was 30
Part
minutes.
two?
That was 30 minutes. So we'll do some more time. So let's move on, I guess. We were just talking about Street Fighter, all the Street Fighters and Marvel, and
so this is Super Turbo of the podcast? Wait a minute, I'm so lost.
What do you mean?
I'm fucking with you, man.
Don't do that.
Talk about this charge.
Don't do that. You know I'm autistic. You know I don't understand things. Social cues go over my head.
Oh my god. I got a charger for you, man. Give me a second.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to read this. So, charges. Obviously, charges are never the same. Here are examples. Kikoken, Chun-Li's Fireball, 50 frames. And then in quotes here it says same. Spinning Bado Kiko, 30 frames. 40 in Street Fighter 5.
40 frames?
So this is how long you have to charge it for. So it's 30 in Street Fighter... Street Fighter 6. Somersault, that's flash kick, 45 frames. So it's the same. I think same means from Street Fighter 5.
Okay.
Sonic Boom, 45. Headbutt, 40 frames. So it's just going over some charge moves, what the timings were, and how much they're different from Street Fighter 5. Spinning Bird Kick was 10 frames less. So a charge super input is defined as back forward, back forward.
Hold on. Did they talk anything about the perfect motions at least?
That was in the beginning. Like
that was it.
Like what you get five possible frames, one frame for perfect input. Yeah.
I just wanted to call back.
Yeah. No, that's good. So apparently, okay, for the back input, you've got 50 plus frames. So standard. I assume it's the same for down. Oh no, wait, how does this go? It just skips to charge supers. I'm not sure what's being missed, if anything. Measured on Guile's super attack, valid inputs, down, your standard, down back, down forward, down back, that's fine. Similar to Street Fighter 5, but the buffer is faster now, 12 frames motion, 10 frames before button. 12 frames motion, 10 frames before button. So it's a little tighter than Street Fighter 5, I believe. That's what he's saying.
Maybe looser?
Buffer is fat. I haven't really noticed any difference. I might actually say that it feels better than Street Fighter 5. I'm not too sure. I haven't really compared that too much.
I dropped that game. Fuck that game. Show me the boost.
All right, 360/720, and this person says, okay, ... I don't feel like explaining it to you right now. It feels similar to Street Fighter 5. You have to make 360 motion in less than 21 frames to do so. It's a combination of lenient directions and roughly covering more than a half circle. So more than a half circle of lenient directions and 21 frames.
I wonder if
is a long fucking
Tiger
time.
Knee motions will work.
Ancient Tiger Knees, probably. They probably work. They will probably work. You do some KOF inputs, you pretend you're doing a KOF super.
Yeah, all the KOF inputs will work too, yeah.
So
probably makes sense why there's so many Mexican Zangiefs.
So I played a little bit of Lily, and I realized that for some reason, what was it? When I would do like a DP motion, and mind you, I know I could do DPs. Like I played Dalsum in Street Fighter 2. Like I'll do DPs all day, right? Yoga fire. Like I know how to do a DP motion, and when I was playing Lily in this game, I would do DP and get 360.
Strange.
And that's 21 frames also. So let's say I'm holding down back, I do forward, down forward. That would be that's more than a half circle maybe. Maybe if I do like up at the end, I guess maybe, and then it counts. I'm not sure.
So is it possible for all?
You have to go up at some point.
Yeah,
That's
as I'm
for
saying.
sure.
So, in order for a 360 to get registered, you have to do down or at least back down,
I
and
guess
then
maybe
whatever motion
the
after.
way that I do DPs is that maybe at the end I'm holding up, and maybe that's what's catching it. If that makes
Possibly.
sense.
So you're probably doing tiger knee motions and they're not even
I'm
noticing
doing
it.
tiger knees and not noticing. But yeah, 21 frames is a long. That is a long time.
I don't know, man. I seem to get grabbed pretty easily,
No, no,
so I don't know
yeah,
how
yeah,
to play that.
yeah. Easy. It's very easy. You get a long window. But yeah, you play Manon. So does she have a DP motion?
She doesn't have a 360. I think she just has a half
Oh,
circle.
they're all
That's it.
half circle. Oh, all right. Yeah, Lillian Zangief
Half circles
is
and quarter circles.
full 360. These
Yeah, she
inputs
only
don't
360
work.
character.
Down, back, down, forward, up. Hmm. Down, back. But it's lenient. But this doesn't work. Maybe it's because DP. Huh.
It's probably a missing an input that's not registered.
It's probably like maybe you need one more or something. Hmm.
Because you got to remember, all these ones that are working inputs are the ones that they registered at least for the engine to take in, and the other ones that don't work are probably ones that they denied because probably there's a conflict with the other moves. That's one thing that we need to keep in mind for everything that we're
Yeah.
reviewing.
Yeah. And the fact that when you're doing a like if you have a character that has this was in Jimmy M something whatever his name is, the Street Fighter 4 5 streamer.
Hey, shouts out to him, man. Shouts out to you for doing this shit, my nigga.
Yeah, so he was saying that Cammy has her down forward spiral arrow, and she also has the Shuriken motion, the DP motion. And Punk in a match, he broke it down, and he's trying to do a DP motion. That link will be in the video will be in the description as well. And that the engine it took his half circle input. Then when he was trying to do DP, it took a half circle input when he was moving back, when he was walking back. It took that half circle that he did and input his DP as spiral arrow.
Interesting.
Interesting. I'm enraged. That's awful, dude. That is awful.
What match was that?
It was one where he was playing this Paladin. He was playing Paladin for the CPT qualifier or something like that. Yeah.
I think I remember that fucking match. Vaguely, though. Vaguely. But yeah, but that's one thing that I do notice that there are certain inputs where people get these random fucking drops. I think it's because they're just not taking their time to do the combo. You know, and they're just rushing to do
who's
everything.
dropping?
You know, any player at all.
Oh, like all players? I think it's the input reader. Like something's going on with the input reader. This guy's breaking it down a bit, and I think from like us reading it, it's hard to it's we're understanding some of it, but it's also hard to understand like the overrides that are happening in the system. You know what I mean? Like the DP is above the fireball. I don't know what layer it's in, like what order it's in. But I'm just speculating like the DP is over the fireball, or maybe the fireball's over the DP. The half circle motion is over the DP, obviously. In that instance, you know, the half circle motion took over his DP input.
Oh.
A lot of shit. Priority resolution. So maybe we'll get to this in a sec.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, that makes sense then.
All right, so doing the negative edge. Sorry, nothing much to say about. Yeah. Do you want to read this? I'm tired of reading. Can you read it?
Give me a second. Where are my reading glasses, ladies and gentlemen?
Episode 2.
All right, nothing.
Mr. Top
Negative
Kick
edge.
reads.
Nothing much to say, but it might be useful if you don't know what it is. It allows to trigger a motion input based on a positive edge, meaning pressing a button, or doing a negative edge, releasing a button. It is disabled by default in Street Fighter 6, and you can enable it. In Street Fighter 5, it was enabled. Examples: do the following motion: quarter circle forward, press light punch during a corner only. If it happens during a buffer, it will do a fireball on reversal. If it happens at idle, LP will be thrown out because there is no way of converting a light punch into a fireball. That's interesting. I never realized there was negative edge in this game. Huh.
That's
But
that
I don't know. I
contradicts
don't know how.
my understanding of negative edge. I thought negative edge was just when you release the button, it'll take the input.
Yeah, yeah. But what he's saying that is that for instance, there's a timing.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So during the buffer, it would come out, but if it doesn't, you'll just get the light punch. Is that what these Japanese players are fucking doing half the time?
If it happens during a buffer, it will do a fireball on reversal. If it happens at idle, huh? So if you're just idle and you're walking around and you do that input, like you'll just get the light punch. But if you do that
Yeah, because at that point
while
you
you're
get a
pressing
grab.
like yeah, you could do like while you're pressing like let's say medium kick, and you do that input, you'll get the fireball. Huh? Might be an advantage to
I don't
putting
know, man.
negative edge on, I guess.
But why did they disable it by default?
Um, I think it's because people in the past have messed up stuff before. I think negative edge was kind of a problem in Street Fighter 4 a lot. You get weird stuff sometimes. If your character had like two, like Sakura has like the what is it? The Shoryuken forward and the Shoryuken back with punch. I think, or was that kick?
Okay.
One of those things. Where it's like you have both forward and back. All right.
All right, let's talk about power cancels. The color system is a way to promote a fireball into a fireball overdrive or EX. You only have one frame to input the two buttons, similar to Street Fighter V. So you could color cancel your fireball
So
overdrive? No
that's
way.
so that's always been a thing. Like you get one frame override. Like let's say I press light punch and then I press like medium punch. I think there's like one frame where it'll like overlap depending on the game, depending on how it works. But like if you look at Third Strike, you can kind of see it. Like if you press a button and you automatically do like a cancel like a medium punch or a medium kick, and you press the other medium button, you'll get the hop kick, the hop jump. And that's how characters do like Haro throws and Third Strike and stuff. Like you'll see the first frame, they'll move forward and then they'll throw you. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just the whole card
Okay.
system. Yeah.
All right. Priority resolution it is. Motion matching. This is the part of that looks at the input history and decides if a motion is valid or not. While we know the purest definition of each motion in practice, there are a lot of noise with other inputs in between. To
Mm-hmm.
better understand, let's try to find a quarter circle forward inside down, neutral, corner, neutral, corner, forward. In
Punch.
Street Fighter Five, yeah, punch, yeah, my fault. In Street Fighter Five, it starts from the punch and looks back in time. It sees forward 10 frames, which is valid, max 12 frames. Then it sees corner 1 frame, which is also valid. Then it looks for the down, but there is neutral, corner, neutral in between, which is 13 frames. So keep in mind when you're neutral, it's
Oh, you
6
skip.
frames, and that little corner is at 1 frame.
Oh, okay.
You know, yeah, that's what I'm talking about now.
Uh huh.
So Street Fighter Five doesn't see a quarter circle forward here. And Street Fighter Six, conversely, it will try to look for all combinations in the possible frames to find anything that fits the definition. That's interesting. It tries to match the same inputs as Street Fighter Five, but it doesn't work. It tries again by ignoring the last corner, which produces this string of inputs: down, neutral, corner, neutral. It cancels out the corner, and then the forward is taken into consideration with the punch. So it's canceling out certain frames.
So if certain inputs, it'll delete it, I guess, from the buffer or from what it's reading essentially.
Yeah, because they're saying that it won't take in the Street Fighter Five string. So if you're used to playing Street Fighter Five, your motion you would have to slightly alter it.
Mm.
And that's why they're saying the game is already taking that consideration into fact by ignoring the input.
It's a lot more
And
lenient in this way.
the
Mm.
further says, after the forward input, it sees a corner which is valid for 1 frame plus 6 frame plus 1 frame, which is less than the max 11 frames. Wait, is that right? 1 frame. Oh yes, it's only 8 frames.
It sees
It
down.
seems,
It sees down, which
yeah,
is valid. 1 plus 6
You get
frames.
1 frame, 6. And then the max is 11 frames. Therefore, Street Fighter 6 sees a quarter circle forward here. So there's already a math calculator inside the fucking game.
Let's go down a bit. Maybe we'll get some more info here. You want me to read
Yeah,
it?
read it.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Input. Punch. Best match on Street Fighter V. They both match. Forward. Best match on Street Fighter V's 3 to 12 frames. Down forward. Oh wait, and then best match on Street Fighter 6. This motion is discarded. Forward and down forward. So that's like the first. Oh.
Because remember, it's going backwards.
It's going backwards.
Yeah, that's what the guy was mentioning.
Right.
It takes into consideration what the button that's pressed. So it's a punch button and then the motion. It's going backwards in terms of reading the input.
So why is the forward discarded? Oh, I see it down. I see it down there. Maybe it's like the frame timing. So forward again. 3 frames plus 3 frames plus 4 frames. 11 frames. Down back 8 frames. I feel like a monkey right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm scratching my head.
Oh, good lord! You don't know how to do fucking math? Just add the numbers up.
No, I can do math. I'm just trying to understand it without doing math.
What the fuck did you just tell me?
I know my numbers. Don't you worry about my numbers. Yeah, so this is, how many frames was it for the fireball? 12 frames max. So
Yeah.
this is 12 here. From the first. But then where's the down? 1. That's 13 frames already. And then the punch comes here.
No, but what he's doing is that this is nothing more than a list of inputs, and he's also laying out the frames.
Oh, like forward. The forward's listed here twice.
He says, remember that you match the inputs from top to bottom.
Huh.
Let's keep going further down. Let's see what else he has in the meantime.
This is especially important in larger motions like half circle forward.
I can't see, and none of us who are watching can see.
What's wrong? It's too small?
Yeah, I can't see.
All right, hold on. Let me fix that for you, Grandpa.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody watching is like, wow, finally.
Finally.
This fucking retard did the thing. Finally. I told you guys, I was autistic. This is especially important in larger motions like half circle forward or double quarter circle forward for supers where you have a lot of inputs that can match far back in time. Additional note, if you have other motions attached to the punch, the final decision might not match. In this case, this is also a valid DP motion in both Street Fighter V and Street Fighter 6. Okay. So it's a little longer of a window to see what's in there. Moves priority. Assuming that 2 inputs are valid at the same time, here are the rules that are applied. Alright, so this is the important part. Priority. Taunt. OD, which is EX moves.
Yeah.
Super Art. Drive Impact. Throw. Drive Parry. 360. See? This is exactly what I was talking about with Lily. I'm trying to do DP, and I get 360.
That makes sense.
And I guess my DP's ending up, because I'm autistic. Quarter circle, half circle, command normals, normals. So
that's very interesting.
So a lot of this is fine. A lot of this makes sense. Yeah, this makes sense to me. At least up to here. And then this other stuff is like the system mechanics, which, whatever. Taunt, you need to press 6 buttons, so who cares, right?
Is this why I keep getting thrown when I fucking parry. Oh,
You keep getting throw when you parry.
yeah.
I mean, you'd have to press different buttons for that though, or all four buttons. Are you pressing all four buttons?
Listen, man.
Are you pressing more than the required buttons, sir?
Yeah, I'm pressing more than the required buttons.
You might have some local variation on the priority of orders. I haven't checked all the combinations, but those are usually set in stones in designs, and exceptions might break stuff. So, an exception meaning like carries, carry, Cammy's half circle overriding her DP,
Mm,
which
makes
is
sense.
bizarre. Why do you keep saying that makes sense? It just makes sense to me. Makes no sense to me.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Explain the Street Fighter Five priority.
Do we have to? I don't know.
Yeah, why not? Come on, man.
So in Street Fighter Five, we'll go the other way. Starts from normals, then command normals. Then to override that would be quarter circles. So quarter circles will override both of these. Then dragon punches, also EX, they're in the same window. So DP will override a quarter circle. A half circle will override a DP. I'm not sure if I've experienced that per se. Maybe the characters I play didn't have this kind of stuff. And then 360 overrides all of that. And then you have critical arts, V skills, V triggers, V shift, throw, and then taunt. And something to note here when we go back to Street Fighter 6 is that OD is really high on this list. So if you're mashing buttons, you might get OD instead of your super.
Interesting. But I've never seen a player do that. Most of the time they'll probably get super hard too.
I haven't tested this,
If they
but
fuck up that bad.
I have a feeling the super would override the OD, but maybe not. Motion conflict resolution. Assuming Ryu with the conflict resolution between DP and quarter circle forward, this shows the difference on how the games resolve their input system. Usually it means that they consider the motion complete at different times and put a different priority. Forward, down, down, forward, forward. You get a DP in Street Fighter 5, you get a DP in Street Fighter 6. Forward, back, down, down, forward, forward. So that's almost like kind of a. Would you consider that a half circle? What would you consider that?
Yeah, that's a KOF half circle.
Forward, back, down, down, forward.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a KOF geese move.
So in Street Fighter 5, you get a DP, but in Street Fighter 6, if you have the half circle correction like Cammy has, that we know for sure. I'm not sure. He's saying Ryu here, so maybe Ryu has it too. And I think that is true because when I play Ryu, I feel like I get fireballs when I'm trying to do DP sometimes, like walking forward. So Street Fighter 6, you'll get a fireball. You won't get DP for doing the KOF geese input. And then we have forward, neutral, back. Now in my mind, these three inputs don't correlate to anything and should be discarded. Right? You there?
No, yeah.
Like forward,
No.
forward, neutral, back. Like to me, that's not an input.
I mean, it's more of a shimmy. I think it's because a lot of people are moving back and forth.
Yeah, a lot of people moving back and forth. Like that wouldn't really say anything about what the player's trying to do, I think. And then we have forward, down, forward, forward. To me, that'd be a fireball in my eyes. But apparently, Street Fighter 5 gives a DP. So this is actually better in Street Fighter 6. This input here. That makes sense. Now Street Fighter 5's input readers wasn't great either. It's pretty dog shit. I think at the very least it was better than 6, but maybe some other players have some gripes. I don't know. For me, I feel like Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 3 have the best input readers. Like I've never had an issue. And maybe even like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Cardinals Revenge, but that's not a Capcom game. But I've never really had issues with inputs in those games. Have you? Like in Marvel 2, do you
Not
have like
really.
input issues ever?
At times because you are mashing.
Yeah, you're
Let's
pressing a
keep
lot
that
of
in
stuff.
mind. There are moments where you may miss a dash,
But
or you
let's
may
say
miss a quarter circle.
you know you know in your mind you did it correctly. Like you know you did it correctly, right?
Oh yeah,
Does it ever like mess up for you in any way?
fuck yeah, fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No.
When I'm trying to do my cable is a hypervisor
Is that
game.
just because it's
Uh,
more strict to do it? Like you have to be more precise.
yes and no, because there's multiple ways of going about the motion.
Okay.
Like there's like the intermediate way of going it, and then there's
Yeah.
like the easy way where it's just like, oh, you just super jump and then you do the motion, but you'll be higher than where a person that's intermediate, he does a tiger knee motion where he gets the instant, he's very low on the ground, but he still gets the air super, you know? So it really depends on the player, and it's very situational also. But like
Depends on
but
the character
that's
too
what I
and
mean.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and in moments like that, you would want the lower version of the super, but if you do jump too high, it may cost you, and you may fuck it up, or you may not be able to loop it. Things like that,
Hmm.
things of that nature.
So, all right. Let's move on to the next one. Forward back.
This is another KOF motion. These are all KOF motions.
KOF players are mauling right now playing Street Fighter 6. Like, what is this shit? And
They're trying
down,
to get quarter circle forwards and again
they're
Hadouken
trying to do their
and
super.
forwards and
They instinctively do the KOF super input. They're like, oh shit, fireball, or DP or whatever. So forward, back, down, forward. No, sorry, down, back, down, forward, forward. Now to me, this looks like a half circle.
That was like a half circle.
Street Fighter 5 says it's a DP. So I think Street Fighter 5 is overriding a lot of what would be fireball motions from what I can tell and turning them into DPs, which
You want to know why?
pretty dog shit in my
Because
opinion.
most of those people don't know how to do the Z motion. Once again,
They like simplified it. They overcorrected for the DP motion, and now we're dealing with
yeah,
with like a weird mishmash of like input rear discarding things and being weird and holding for too many frames.
yeah. That's why
So
Chun-Li's move is
so
now what, down down.
so far these three are better because it's discarding the half circle and making that fireball motion, right? All right, so forward, down, down, forward, forward, down, forward. To me, that's like a super input. But if you don't have super, I guess that'd be a DP, right?
Yeah, it's like a double DP.
Yeah. So this is fine. That's fine. Down, down, forward, DP, DP. Okay. Forward
That
neutral.
used to be Ken Street Fighter 2 Super. That's hilarious.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that motion right there.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Forward, neutral, back, down, down, forward, down, forward. Um, this would be like a Street Fighter 4 input, like ending on down forward. Because traditionally you end on forward for the DP.
It's another KOF motion, man. I keep telling you.
All right, the last one here: down, down, forward, forward, down, forward, forward. That's a DP. So, if we look at these inputs here, it's better in Street Fighter 6. But I'm not gonna say everything's better in Street Fighter 6. I'll say those corrections for half circle inputs are better. Input Poland.
So how do you feel about the autocorrect right now in Street Fighter 6?
The autocorrect.
Yeah.
Um,
Isn't that technically what it is?
say that again.
I mean, isn't that at least their version of an autocorrect? Or at least an input corrector? I'm sorry, maybe I should be saying that better.
In Street Fighter 6, I don't like it. I don't like the way it is. I didn't like the way it was in 4 or 5, to be frank. And like I said, like to me, Third Strike and Street Fighter 2 are like almost perfect. Like Street Fighter 2 is a little too strict on certain things, and then Third Strike, I think like the supers are a little too strict. Other than that, I think it's fine. Like if they put the third strike input reader and like fixed the super input, like made that a little bit more lenient on the directions you have to input, I feel like it would be fine.
That even, would that even work in a 3D game?
I mean, it's the same. It works the same. You're doing the same inputs, 2D or 3D.
I'm guessing timing wise is what I mean.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
It's not like on a with a 2D sprite frame. You know how fast it is.
I mean, they try to emulate that. Like the game will run at the same, like timing thing. Like
The speed,
all
no,
these
no.
frame things. The only thing different really is that these new games have a lot of like hit stun. Like the Street Fighter
Yeah.
Five hit stun. That's why a lot of people do those. Like that's why Street Fighter Four, when you do your one frame lengths, it's like in an old game that'd be super fast. You'd be like tap 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 tap. you know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, seriously.
but anyway, let's move on. Summary of the main changes: input buffering, buffering dash A frames. Street Fighter Five.
5 frames.
So you got a 5 frame buffering a dash in 6. But that's input buffering. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's like after you press a button or something. Down,
Mm-hmm.
down, quarter circle, blah, blah, blah. I think we already went over all this. Motion matching,
Negative edge.
backwards search for Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 6 exhaustive search.
What does that even mean?
So like before when it was saying it like removes other inputs to see if there's a good one in there and stuff.
You explained it.
Oh, 360s in Street Fighter 5 are 25 frames? Oh, but an additional 20 frames for the button. Oh my god. So you could do the 360 motion, do nothing for like 19, 20 frames, and then press punch and you'll get a 360.
Nice. Can you walk forward and do it on some super turbo shit? Where you
Probably.
could store your 360.
Probably. It sounds kind of retarded to me, honestly. I mean, I guess it's fine, but my problem with it, I guess with Lily, was that I was trying to do DP sometimes and I'd get the fucking 360. I guess that might be why a lot of Lily players play modern, because they keep getting DPs instead of their one button 360 that they get in modern.
Fuck all those modern players.
Fuck 'em. Kara, same. Okay, good. Motion matching, blah blah blah. Moves priority. Supers are lower than the V system and throws. EX are similar to special. ODs have the highest priorities, and supers right after. That is so weird. I'd have to try that out. I wonder. That sounds weird. I guess because supers are one button, but still, I don't know.
Well, look at it from this perspective. You do an OD, right? Your EX comes out, and then I answer with level 3.
So that is it. That is everything.
Yeah.
We covered
Makes
it.
sense.
We covered all of it. Makes sense on paper, in game. I guess the exhaustive search is what, and the half circle over certain moves. Like maybe they did it incorrectly for Cammy. I don't know.
Well, now that we're taking a step back and we
Yes.
revealed all the notes.
Let's read all the super chats. Let's see. You're gay. Okay, thank you for the $0. This guy says KYS, which is I assume is keep yourself safe. Thank you.
A lot of homophobic rhetoric being spoken.
That was from Dr. Pepsi. Thank you, Dr. Pepsi. $0. All right, what were you saying? Sorry. Oh wait, we got to do the ad read. BetterHelp. Are you mentally ill? Go to BetterHelp.com if you're mentally ill. Use promo code. Anyway, what are you gonna say?
What I was gonna say is that now that we've taken a step back, we've looked at the notes. Now that we know that there is a mathematical calculator within the engine, and it's
there's a small Japanese man inside the code sorting all the inputs. He's throwing away your neutral input. He's like, that doesn't belong here. This no belong. Very bad. Bad input.
Oh shit!
So blame that little man when you get a DP instead of a fireball.
No, what I was gonna say is that did they do this to take in consideration drive rush? You know, because that's another thing that this guy didn't really talk about. You know,
Well, he has
how is
the priority. I think Dry Rush was on that list somewhere.
no, but what I
Uh,
mean is that how is all of this taken into consideration with drive rush now? Now
yeah,
we
where's
as the
Drive Rush?
player,
Huh.
you know.
Maybe it's here where the drive parry is. But I don't know if you remember this, but I think in the beginning, like everyone's, well, at least mine, and maybe your speculation in the beginning was the input reader was messed up because of modern, right? Because of the modern system. But I think we can throw that out the window now and just acknowledge that it's just very lenient with certain things that it shouldn't be.
Well, I always assumed that they originally made the game with just modern first, and then added the classic controls after.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they did say that they wanted to take that approach. You know, but they felt it was too brave of a move.
Yeah, but I feel like we can throw that out the window. That theory.
Yeah. But this input calculator, this is interesting to me. Why did they do that? What were the scrubs complaining about in five? That they were just like, all right, we got to like start
Well,
correcting these inputs
I think
pretty soon.
certainly this half circle stuff that they corrected, and I think he made the point of showing this here, is that your half circle inputs are no longer considered DPs, which is good. I think that's good. But I think also the DP motion should take priority over, like, I don't know. You get what I mean?
But what if your intention was to do a quarter circle forward?
Like, if you did a half circle, yeah, fine. If I'm like I'm walking forward, right, and I hit down forward, I want a fireball, right? Like a lot of this is what a
Mm.
lot of players say. Like if I'm walking forward and I do down forward, I want to do a fireball. And to me, I think that's perfectly fine. But I think the fact that the DP has to end on forward should be what it is. Like if I'm holding forward and I press punch, that should be to me that should be like a DP. Do you know what I mean? And like if you're holding down forward, it's, like I don't know how you put those in the layering per se. But if I'm doing a fireball, like maybe, oh man, I don't know. Like I think, what was the game? There was a game where like it was you were better off doing half circle motions for fireballs. I think it was maybe Super Turbo, right?
Probably. I
Yeah.
mean, that's how I would do my sonic booms, believe it or not. Because I would charge position it. I would throw out two light punches, do a half circle, throw out the sonic boom, do another two light punches, do
Sonic
another
Boom.
half circle. Yeah, that's
Sonic
how I would
Boom.
keep the rhythm.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not too sure how you do the layering, but I think right now, I think they need to do some work on that. They probably will. They probably will. But anyways, this game is shit. Besides the inputs, you want to rant on that for a sec before we
I
close it
mean,
out?
the game. Listen to me, man. I keep telling everybody. I think they made a mistake when they decided to create that beautiful concept art for this game and not go too deep.
Which concept
All
art?
right, that was my issue. The concept art they got leaked. You don't remember?
Like the character art and stuff?
Yeah.
Mm.
Because for some reason the character art looks better than the actual 3D designs, you know, which I think is problematic, but nobody wants to say it. Because nobody's a fucking artist.
I think a lot of the interpretation between the 2D artists and the 3D artists is probably lost somewhere in the sauce.
Because look how Tekken does their art and how it translates over to 3D. It's pretty very close. There's a resemblance to it.
Mm.
And not to say that Street Fighter doesn't have it, but I feel like Street Fighter is going for a super hyper realistic
Yeah,
visual,
yeah.
whereas in
But
Tekken it's more suited.
I think they got a lot of attention for that. But like from the normies, like oh man, this looks so good. This is like the best looking game ever. And I think if I when I take a step back and I kind of forget that the game is shitty, and I just look at the game, I think it looks fine. I think like some parts look pretty cool. It almost looks enticing to play. And then I come back from my stupor for, for like 2 seconds. I'm like, oh wait, this game is poopy. This game is not very fun.
I don't know. We went from these beautiful hand drawn visuals that were transferred over to sprites and they had a very Walt Disney like feel.
Yeah.
And I feel like somewhere, at least that part of Street Fighter got lost in translation. You know, I will say this: Street Fighter 4, looking back now, has a very strong cartoonish feel,
Yeah.
which I never really considered in the beginning.
Dude, the animations from Street Fighter 4, and you hear me bitch about animations all the time. I think there's some of the best. There's some of the best animations for fighting games. Street Fighter 4.
Yo, come on, man, give Battle Fantasia their fucking credit, all right?
Yeah, it looks fine. But like, if you've seen like Oni, for example, like Zangief, for example, like there's not a single character in that game where I can look at their animation and say, "Oh, look, they fucked up here. This looks like shit." Whereas if I look at Street Fighter 5 and I look at Cody, he looks like some reject from some I don't even know, like some PS2 game.
He's a
Like
businessman
like
now, you know.
he's straight out of Def Jam with his animations, like Def Jam Fight for New York. It's just
It,
he look,
it was a leftover design
no. Let
from
me
Beatdown to
sorry.
Vengeance.
Let me not disparage Def Jam like that. I think it's worse than anything I've seen in a long time.
I don't know what they were thinking about design wise on these characters,
I think 6 looks
and that's what I keep
fine.
saying.
It's fine visually. My
Uh,
problem is the gameplay.
but why do you hate Drive Rush so much?
I don't hate Drive Rush as much as I hate the damage in the game. And Drive Rush is part of that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you do heavy punch, drive rush, heavy punch, drive rush, heavy punch, medium punch, special into super. And like that's like everybody gets their like 4,000, 6,000, whatever damage combo. Everybody. Everybody plays the same. Everybody's looking for a hit confirm into green goopity goop.
It's what bothers me about it, and what scares me is that Justin Wong hasn't said anything about this. Is that when I see
That man
Drive
has
Rush
a wife and
combo?
kid. He's got
No,
kids.
listen.
Go ahead.
All I see is a poor man's Magneto combo.
Mm.
That's what I really see. You know, when you do that drive rush, you know, that tapping forward, it's not too different from when you would do your light, and dash forward with two buttons.
Uh, huh. Yeah.
That's why I've always took the stance where whether Capcom wants to admit it or not, the way they created the character Magneto as a fighting contester stood with them for a very long time. They always tried to figure out how to take at least his character mechanic and transfer it over to other games. And there's other Marvel 2 players that have spoken about this, you know, but others would disagree, unfortunately. And they just don't play the game. They don't know.
Yeah, you know, I'm shit at Marvel, and when I play it, and I'm like trying to do inputs, and I get like my inputs get canceled. I'm like, what's going on in this game? That game is too nuts for me. But you know, I got a lot of respect for you, putting all that time in, and
Still trash.
you know, competing with some of the players you compete with on the casual
I'm
level.
still trash. I'm still trash.
And
Shit don't matter.
I'm still trash at Third Strike.
Man, Third Strike's a good game, man.
It's it's fucking awful.
I know a lot of. I know it's cool to hate on Third Strike now, but listen,
Is it?
when that game was,
I think it's cool
yeah,
to
it's
love
cool to
Third
hate on
Strike
Third
now.
Strike now. It's both. It's whatever.
Can we?
But
Do you
that
want to?
time period when people were just playing the game, that was the time to play the game.
Yeah. Now it's
Now everybody's trying to make a political statement with their game. Fuck that.
a political statement. Do you want to go over parry in Street Fighter 6? So
Do
apparently,
you want to?
the parry in Street Fighter 6, it does not work on true block strings. So you know how you could red parry in Third Strike, like if you do
Yeah.
EX Fireball. I'll block the first one and red parry the second one. Apparently,
Yeah.
you can do that in Street Fighter Six. Maybe with fireballs you can, but as far as I know, apparently, true block strings you can't you can't perfect parry out of or whatever.
Strange. Well, now that we know that they're taking consideration certain buffering inputs, is that why on certain frames you're able to connect the perfect parry?
I think there's like long enough gaps, like with the Jinrai kicks from Ken, with Jamie's combinations without his drinks or with like level one drinks or one of
Yeah.
those. There's like a
The
gap.
records, yeah,
There's enough of a gap in there where you mash parry and you'll get the perfect parry every time. And people on their wake up, they get the perfect parry. I don't know.
Same with my nose overhead kick. Yeah, you can perfect
I
parry
was I was
a lot
very
more.
I was very iffy about parries when the game came out, and I was like, this is like potentially a problem. When I started realizing that stuff, especially like the perfect parry times you could do, like guaranteed, essentially. I had a
Yeah.
feeling that the game was going to go in a weird direction if this became the meta. And like if you think about it, the parries are already nerfed. They do 50% less damage. You know, you can get
Yeah, unfortunately.
thrown out of it. I see players saying that you should have to parry low or parry high. What do you think about that?
So they want to play third strike and don't want to fucking admit it.
They
Fuck
like
those guys. This is my fucking problem with the FGC. We want to talk shit about all these old legacy games, and then a couple of years later, we're like, hey, let's take that legacy mechanic and put it in this game. Go play that fucking game then.
people, and the defense is that you had to know which parry to do, like which low, if you had to do parry low or parry high. And I'm like, Third Strike has a whole bunch of parry both way button things. And if you played that game, you would know that. You would you would be like, it's awful. So if they
Oh my
like
god.
if they take that, so let's say they put high parry and low parry in Street Fighter Six, where if you're crouching, you get the low parry and you can't parry high moves or whatever. You get hit, let's say. So if I'm Ken and I do a crouching medium punch and you parry low or parry high, in third strike terms, that's any parry. You don't have to parry that low or high. You can do either. So if that's what they want, like sure, there's certain ranges where you just know all they can hit me with is either a high move or a low move, and that's not a guess. You just know in this range, I parry high or I parry low, or when I'm close to them, their best button is this button, and if I hit this perfect parry timing, I got to do low parry or I got to do high parry. Like you're just moving. You're essentially moving the goalpost for parry. And it's just like more guessing games, more. It's nonsense. It's nonsense in Third Strike and it's nonsense in Six.
Do you think they'll add air parries at that
Oh
point?
God, oh God! I hope they do, and I hope this game burns. Please add
How
the air parry.
fast did they drop this fucking
Add
game?
all
How
the
fast did they
worst
drop this
mechanics
game?
ever. Add the fucking custom combos. I hope they give you a custom combo button. You hit all six buttons while doing a 360 input in the air. You turn blue like fucking custom combo mode. You're invulnerable.
It breaks
You
my
become
heart.
invulnerable and you start doing your custom combos just like Alpha 2, Alpha 3. Just like those dog shit games.
It breaks my heart
Meanwhile,
that there's
oh yeah, we gotta play Alpha
good
1 again.
quality.
We gotta play Alpha 1 again sometime.
Alpha One, yeah, we got to play Alpha One again, and we should also play Fighting EX Leia. We should actually support
I gotta
that
see if I
man.
have that game.
You know, support the man who originally created fucking Street Fighter Two.
Holy smoke.
You know,
Yeah, go ahead.
it's true. You know, look at that game. There's nothing wrong with that game. That game is beautiful. You know, you want the real hyper shit. You know, go play Fighting EX Leia. You know, what is everybody calling it? The green slop. You know, we want to keep playing.
The voices in that game are hilarious.
You know, it's up to you. Yeah. Oh,
Well, sorry, what were you gonna say before I ranted?
no, yeah, if you want to play
Alpha?
the green slop game, perfectly fine. If you want to play alpha, perfectly fine. Listen, this is what I'm going to tell you, and this is the God's honest truth. Play whatever fucking fighting game you want to play. Just please keep this in consideration. As the years go by, each new fighting game that gets released is just going to be another fast food dish. The quality is going to continue to get lower. And you, as the player, needs to voice your fucking opinion. Let the people know. You guys on Twitter fucking ranting all the time about the game's dog shit and you need to patch it. No, tell them that you guys need to actually fix this shit. You guys need to all get together. Make your voices heard. Don't let it be one individual person. You know,
They
don't let
wait. They
one of
wait
these
for the.
superstars take over.
They wait for the top players to see if it's okay to
Yeah.
voice their opinion.
Okay, no,
And,
no, 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 no.
and
You guys need to get
I guess in a
together.
sense,
Go to your local tournaments,
this
right?
video
Go to
is that as well. Like we waited until people started talking. But honestly, it's just the fact that I don't want to waste my time on this fucking game I don't like. I'm just getting mad recently with all the people saying how they can fix the game recently, and it's just like the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Add a low parry. Oh, drive rush should cost 2 bars. Oh, if you drive rush, you should be punished counter state. So we gamble in either direction now. We're explosive in one way or explosive in the other way. Just who's gonna gamble first? Who's gonna roll the dice? It's like all these suggestions are
and
so
let me tell
retarded.
and let me tell you something. Just like you said, it's a double-edged sword. If you don't speak, you get fed the bullshit. If you do speak and they make the changes, the game gets even fucking worse. So you're stuck. You can't really do anything. It's the truth.
Oh my God.
And we put ourselves in this position because of everything that we kept screaming about in Street Fighter 4. Never forget that all these people were screaming about the army of the Ryus online. And now look at the Ryu player that we have today. You know? The
Can I
man that plays fucking Ryu doesn't even play Ryu, for fuck's sakes.
can I make a very offensive joke? A very
Go ahead.
off-colored joke. So January 1st,
Oh,
this earthquake hits Japan.
good Lord.
I
Here we go.
immediately go online and I go through the Japanese obituaries for hours, and I did not see Woshige's name, and I cried.
Fuck that guy, man.
I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell.
That guy.
I hope all the
ruined
Japanese people are
Street Fighting.
safe. I hope they're all fine.
Yeah, shouts out to everybody in the
All right.
island of Nippon.
So let's
So
do
fuck Washige.
as we head out. Let's do a very typical thing. Who is your top 3 characters in Street Fighter 5 right now?
5 or 6?
I'm sorry, 6. I keep they're the same shit to me. Bad games. But yeah, who's your top?
The
Who's
5
your
best
top
characters?
3? The top 3 in Street Fighter 6.
Oh, you already know what I'm gonna say. It's gonna be JP, DJ, and Luke. And honorary mention is gonna be Ken. Because I think a lot of people are sleeping on Luke. I truly believe that Luke is stronger than Ken.
I
Some
think people are
feel
saying.
different.
I think I've seen a lot of people say Luke is top. So my 3 is gonna be every character in the game because every character does the same shit, and they all have access to insane damage. So every character with a medium punch that goes into drive rush is the best character in the game. It's such a balanced game. It's such a balanced game, dude. Everyone's the best.
Why did they make that game play just like that? Why?
All right, so thanks everybody for watching. This was part 2, which was quite a bit longer than part 1. I hope you all appreciate it. We're signing off for now. Keep yourself safe. I mean that with 100%, with 1,000%. Any last words?
See you later, cocksuckers.
All right.
See you later, cocksuckers.